Hey everybody, this is Spiffy Guy. We are out at the Pine Ridge campground for another adventure. This campground is located in a section of the Mark Twain Forest near Ashland, Missouri. And we're going to meet up with a couple dudes from Bushcraft USA forums. And I'm going to crash in the campground tonight. And then the plan is to head out on a trail that goes through here. There is a 22-mile section of the Cedar Creek Trail on the map. I don't know if we'll do the whole thing, but we're going to go camp out somewhere tomorrow night and then head home on Sunday. So we just need to pick a site and set up the hammock. So stick around. Well, this is the site I'm going to do. There's another one that's a little bit more secluded, but there's a large oak that has quite a bit of rot in it, and I'm worried it will fall on my head, and that would not be good. There is a chance of rain this weekend, and the clouds are kind of coming in, going out, so I'm going to set my tarp up, and we're going to set the hammock up over here between those trees, and we're going to get to it. Well, there's the Tarp Bushcraft USA 12 by 10. I'm trying to work on the pitch of it, and it's not very tight, as you can see, but I'm not sure the best way to go about doing it. I'm trying to use this time to mess around and figure out fast pitch type options. So I did this split guy line here in the middle, so that would give me 3 stakes. I think what I'm going to try to do is do another V over here on that side, and that way if I want to close that in as the doors, I'll have a guy line right there still to a stake, and that might be a good option. One of the other things I did is I made these little DIY snake skins out of some tulle to try to contain the tarp a little bit, and we'll see how that goes. And also I added a little 9 eyes figure 9 up here as a means to get it, pitched quickly without having to do the Marlin spike kit and try to adjust this Prusik, which I ended up having to take off and put multiple wraps because this Zing It on Zing It, you need a lot of wraps on there, otherwise it's not going to hold when you crank back on the 9. So that was one thing that I discovered, but there's a lot of room. I hung the tarp a little bit higher today, so we'll see how that goes, and I'm still debating whether the ridge line should be underneath the tarp or on top through the loops. I'm concerned underneath that the thinness of the line is going to abrade on the tarp itself and damage the tarp. But I like the idea of having it on the inside so I could possibly hang something from it, but it is pretty tight, so that may not be a good option. So I might rehang it. Alright, so I made some adjustments. I put the ridge line through the loops on the top, and that makes me, I guess, feel a little bit better that the ridge line isn't taut right on the tarp. Of course I don't have anything to connect my bug net to, but I'll figure something out. Perhaps I could just run a small little piece of Zing It through there that'll just be kind of loose and has like a utility line. I am liking the figure 9. It goes up pretty easy and allows me to get that ridge line tight, and if I need to, if the storm's coming, I need to lower that, I can just undo the figure 9 a little bit and let out some slack, and you know, not have to adjust this prusik right here. So you know, I adjust this once for the idea how far I need to be from the trees, and then I can adjust my slack right here on the figure 9. I think that's going to work out. So I've got some Zing-It with me and some shock cord, and I think I'm going to try to make up some new guy lines for the edges, so stick around. Alright, so this bag is one of my Tyvek bag specials, the little mail pouches. And I kind of turned this into a black bishop bag, so I have my hammock and my bug net already attached in here, so it's not two separate things. I just cut a little, snipped off the corner right here, just a little hole, and I have one tail end of the whoopee sling coming out this end, and then it will, the rest of the hammock will come out there. So hopefully this will make organization a little bit better. I'm reducing a bag and putting the bug net and the hammock together. And if this works out, I might try to make a little bit more, a bag that fits it a little bit better. This is pretty loose. You know, you can compact it a lot more. But I'm not really having space issues in my pack right now, so I'm not too worried about the bulk. So we're gonna hang this and see how that works. And this is what it looks like from inside the hammock. The bishop bag does make it set up a little bit easier. And with the bag at the end there, I can stuff my bug net into the bag if I don't want to use it, and that way it's not hanging. You know, if it's close to the ground, it might pick up some leaves or something like that. So if I didn't want to use the bug net, like right now, I could just stuff it up into the little bishop bag. And it puts the two units together in a one thing, so that's kind of convenient. So I'm going to continue to get set up here. I got to put my underquilt on, and then we can do some work on this tarp. It's not pitched as tight as it probably could be. All right, here is the underquilt that I made. This is made from a shell of 1.1 ripstop with 3 layers of Insultech inside. There is shock cord on both ends to cinch up the ends, and then it's just connected via prusik. And this thing will roast you. Last time I had it, it got down to, I think, just down to about 70 or whatever, and I mean, I was hot. So I'm gonna run this open like that most of the night probably, because we're only supposed to get down to like 65, I think, at the coldest. But you know me, without it I'll freeze like I did on with my poncho liner. But this thing weighs 19 ounces, and hopefully it'll take me down to 40, maybe 35 at the most. So we'll see once winter gets here, hopefully soon. And then for a top quilt, not that I'll need it, but I have a little fleece, top quilt that I had made. And so that's pretty much it. That's the shelter and the sleep system. So now that that's hung, we'll mess around some more with some tarp guy lines. I believe that is a persimmons, and this is a persimmons tree, which grows persimmons, I think. This trip's beef jerky, Kirkland steak strips, extra thick cut. Delicious. Okay guys, I have finished, it took me a couple hours, but I made self-tensioning guy lines out of Zing-It and 1/8 shock cord. And they seem to work okay. I'll get a close-up here in a second. But what I'm hoping to be able to do is to be able to do just the 3 pegs and keep it tight enough. And that way I can remove this particular one, loosen up this one, and then these 2 ends will come together as a door. Let me give you a close-up of what I did. Okay, this is what I did. I have a bow line here, come down, I just made a half hitch with a loop in it. Okay, I did about a hand spread and another ½ inch with a loop. In between that, I did figure 8 knot on this bungee cord, or this shock cord. Stretched it out pretty good. The idea is that as this fabric tightens up and stretches, this will pull it in closer. It also gives it a little shock absorber for the wind. And then I just come down to a taut line hitch. And I've done this on all of them, including both sides of the center V. So this is actually one V line right here. And the hope of the center V is to allow me to use my trekking poles into porch mode. I kind of fooled around with it a little bit and it did not come out the way I wanted to. I actually popped some stitching on one of the guylines. I'll show you that here in a sec. You can see right here, this section right here is actually supposed to fold back and be double stitched. And I actually popped those stitches trying to put it in the porch mode. I don't think it's a fault of the construction, it's just a fault I put too much tension on there. But once again, to point out how well made these Bushcraft USA tarps are, I blew some stitches in an entire row and I'm still able to use it because he double stitched that. So I'll have to fix that when I get home. But that was my fault. And I'll have to figure out this porch mode thing a little bit later. Another issue with this particular setup is that this corner coming out to here may keep this corner too loose. So what may have to happen is I may have to actually use 8 stakes and bring this one to kind of right in the middle and then guy that one out further. That way if I need to use the doors, this one still has that lateral tension point in that direction. My fingers though are stained yellow from working with that Zinget. But we'll try this tonight and see how it works. It seems to be keeping the tension pretty decent though. So this is day 2. Camp is packed up. Went up pretty easy. So that's about it. This is the pack I got. This is new. It's a ULA circuit. We'll try it out. We'll do a little review at some point. But it's loaded up full of crap. So we're gonna go maybe hike for a little bit, camp out in the woods tonight instead of at the parking lot. And another bushcraft guy might show up, so stick around. This is one of the trails out here at the Pine Ridge. I don't know if this is the actual Cedar Creek Trail or not. Some of their blazing is a bit confusing, but it's pretty nice out here. Lurch over there grabbing a piece of hickory for a split wood fire, and we're just waiting on Bushcraft USA guy to show up, and we shall be complete and move into the woods. Alright, we're out on a little hike with Mr. Turley, and we came across the Nevins Farmstead. It's an old farmstead, rundown house, but you can enjoy it, just don't destroy it. These men are trying to ruin my video. That's alright, nobody besides Bushcraft USA people watch my stuff anyway. But look, there's Yucca.
Got a kimber clip. Nope.
Alright guys, so here we are kind of at the end of the day. It's about 6 o'clock. And I'm going to call it for the trip. And only do one night. A couple guys from the Bushcraft Forum showed up and we did a little nature walk. And walked around, and then one of the guys who was staying with me tonight felt the wrath of the green peppers and steak, some heatable meal from Bass Pro, so watch out for those because they apparently pack quite a wallop. So anyway, we're gonna book on out of here, and appreciate you guys watching, and make sure to subscribe and take care.